So me being somebody that looks at things from an Africana perspective, an indigenous perspective, an Africana studies perspective, I'm in awe. Because I researched it, but I never grew up in a church. But it was always a part of my life and my lineage. So when I went to college and learned about things like ring shout and research, I was like, oh wow, this is so interesting and crazy how our African and indigenous spiritual practices and ways of being became a part of our culture within the church, within a colonial institution, a colonial religious institution. It's even more crazy to me because I'm learning about my relationship to the black church via my lineage and also my relationship to hoodoo. So when I tell you, I was like, yo, God works in mysterious ways, because I'm sitting here and I'm realizing and analyzing the ways that our African spiritual and indigenous forms of living and being is so mutable, if that makes sense, and always there. That because of Eurocentric cultural thought and European modernity, we don't always see it. So we act out in hypocrisy, not realizing that the actual things that we do as African people speaks to the essence of our spirituality. And that's whether we're in the black church or we're in a spiritual house. Needless to say, he ended up asking, could he pray for me? He did. And it was wild because not too long after that, Spirit told me something. Spirit said he got something to tell you, like go up to him, like after the fact, right? And mind you, I felt him, I seen him, I looked him in his eyes, I felt his energy while he was, praying for me, looking at me, prophesizing, I go up to him afterwards and he seemed a little different, so I told him, something told me to come up here, I felt like you had something to say to me, and he really didn't have nothing to say. He was, not to say confused, but confused for real, like caught off guard for real. And I think it's because he seen me seeing him, but that could be my ego talking. But I also feel like it was because he was possessed. And I know in the Western world, possession is looked at a negative thing, but you can be possessed by the Holy Ghost. This is for my church folk. This is folk who, trying to understand the vocabulary in connection with what we talking about. But I feel like he was possessed because he don't remember what he said to me. He don't remember the messages he said to me. He don't remember what he was feeling and seeing on me. That was spirit.